Chapter 4. Morning has already come. Gleb was lying near an extinct fire, burying his face in his hand, trying to hide the blush that had risen to his cheeks. The memory of last night with Han Q was still fresh in his mind, and he couldn't help but smile to himself. He had never felt so alive, so desired and so vulnerable at the same time. Gleb replayed the events of the night in his mind again and again, savoring every moment, every touch, every word. He remembered the warmth of Han Q's body pressed against him, the feeling of his lips wandering all over his body, the sound of his gentle voice, those incomprehensible but so sweet-sounding words, and a hug as strong as a vice. Exciting roars of Han Gyu excited the blood. Gleb recalled with what whistling he sucked in air, which for some reason was not enough, and he was suffocating. Everything was as he did not dare to dream. Gleb cautiously opened his eyes, hesitantly and very slowly looking around. He looked at the place beside him where Han Gyu was sleeping. It was empty. A sudden feeling of fear filled his heart. He quickly caught himself, sat up, looking around the clearing for signs of a Goryeo warrior. Not far away in a clearing, in the morning sun, he saw Han Gyu practicing with a sword. He was only wearing pants. There were no shoes either. It was clear how bare heels flashed. Gleb couldn't take his eyes off Han Gyu's naked torso, mesmerized by the way his muscles swelled and rolled with each movement of the sword. The early morning sun illuminated every inch of Han Q's chiseled body, making him look like a work of art. Gleb watched for a long time and with reverence as Han Gyu practiced with a sword, admiring the grace and smoothness of his movements. He had never seen anyone move with such precision and beauty before. Every movement of Han Gyu's wrist was like a dance, and Gleb realized that he was lost in the rhythm of it all. As he watched, he felt warmth spread through his body, and he couldn't help but feel aroused. Desire surged with renewed vigor. It was awkward. He could not get up at that moment, so he continued to sit and watch. Gleb was attracted not only by the physical form of Han Gyu. The way he carried himself, with a sense of calm confidence and determination, was both frightening. Han Gyu woke up very early, even before sunrise, fondly remembering the past night. The desire came with such force and pain in the groin that Han Gyu quickly got up and went to the clearing to practice his sword fighting skills. He was determined to focus his mind and body on training, but his thoughts kept returning to Gleb. He recalled how Gleb's tender skin touched his own, the sound of his groans, the whistle with which he drew in the air gasping for breath, when they explored each other's bodies, and how Gleb's eyes sparkled with desire. And in what unthinkable fantastic euphoria the warrior had been Goryeo. Han Gyu shook his head, trying to push his thoughts away and focus on the movements of his sword. But every time he swung his sword, he imagined Gleb's face. He tried to lunge harder, swing faster, and use all his strength to distract himself, but it only made him more clumsy and out of rhythm. In the groin, the excitement did not pass. The warrior remained at a loss. He did not know how to deal with this. Han Q was forced to finish the training, tired of fighting with desire. Turned to Gleb. Gleb's heart skipped a beat. The warrior with the grace of a tiger began to move towards him. Han Q was even more breathtaking up close, with his chiseled jawline, piercing gaze, and long flowing hair. Gleb felt a blush flood his neck as the warrior approached him with a sword in his hand. "Good morning, my Lada," said Han Gyu, breaking his words. A slight smile played at the corners of his lips. Gleb couldn't help but smile back, feeling the warmth and tenderness in Han Q's eyes. 5 days flew by like a moment. The guys knew that parting was inevitable. Everyone experienced it in their own way. During the time spent with Gleb, Han Q learned a lot of words. Communication was not difficult. Only sometimes it was funny.